Okay, we're live. Welcome to the first episode of the podcast with Jonathan. Okay, so I guess this is going to be a whole new series. The whole point of this is put on headphones and just continue working in the background. I'm just going to be listening or I'm just going to be feeding you some dope tips in the background. So this is my new podcast. Welcome. And in the podcast, you could do work, you do chores. You don't have to look at a screen. Just listen to my voice, and that's all you have to do because I'm going to share some really dope stuff, not just about AI, but also business, life, things on my mind. This isn't just going to be a straight AI podcast. This is going to be like a lot of what's going on in my life, how I'm using just AI, business tips, strategy, where I'm going in the direction, just a way for me to show up every single day and give you guys a straight value add from here. So we're going to rock 30, 40 minutes. And from there, I guarantee as long as you listen to my podcast every single day, I promise that you will learn something new. Nice. And let's rock. So main thing is, so I'm finishing up that. Not well. We're about midway into the AI certification program with one of the students, and I am so proud of my students. Like it's so much of a difference when students come in and just even from the hardware, it takes like there's even prerequisites that I need to have for the AI certification program because there are people that are succeeding and there are people that are going slow. But the main thing is that like they have to be using the right hardware before you even get into AI. And so I did a list of like what are the top tools to watch my my student crush it. Literally, the student inside the AI certification program, he within the second week, where he's already diving deep into NAN, and already by the end of the second week, we've automated his entire LinkedIn content. So for the last 3 weeks since that, he has an automated LinkedIn content machine. He went from posting never creating a piece of content in his life to now publishing consistently every single day with specialized articles, knowledge, and tips to his industry, all completely automated. And so that to me is like, it dovetail with a lot of things of what I do. Like my whole life passion has been about automation, has been about systems, has been about using technology and computers to do the work so that we don't have to. It's not a like I've eliminated a lot of jobs. Like I'm the guy that gets called in to basically automate an entire both job, role, or department. Like that's my bread and butter. Um, and so that's why I like working with coaches, consultants, freelancers, because I could take a look at. Usually, it's usually a mix of two parts. One, it's outdated technology, which is one of the biggest things, and then second is outdated skills. And honestly, because there is no computer literacy course program out there that exists, at least to the level of what I want it to be, because before people come into my program, I need to upskill them with just how to use a Mac computer. And I'm talking Mac. It's not a PC versus Mac or any of that nonsense kind of thing. Like, we live in a world where you shouldn't have to fight the computer to get what you need to get done in your daily life or your business. And I see so many people just fighting the computer. And it's like, so there's levels to the AI game, and I've mapped them all out. Like, I've mapped out where I could take a complete beginner and then upskill them through digital productivity. That's stuff like Notion, Task Manager, Password Manager, being on a Mac, learning how to use all the keyboards and shortcuts, making sure you have the right computer and also external monitor so that even your workspace is as efficient as possible. Like, and then we can start getting into the fun stuff, the AI, the Claude and GenSpark, and I'm not going to mention ChatGPT because it's irrelevant as of today. Like literally as of today, you guys should be canceling your ChatGPT account. There's no reason you should be using ChatGPT unless you don't want to make money. I know all the people are like, how do you make money with AI? And how do I? Well, it's definitely not using ChatGPT. That's for sure. Trust me, I'm not sponsored by any of the tools. I'm not sponsored by any of the vendors. I can say whatever I want about the tools because if it helps me save time and make me more money, for sure, I'm going to recommend it. If it cost me time and it cost me more money in my business, I will cancel that tool so fast. And the community has stories about like I'm recommending one tool and then a month later we're like, nah, I pushed all the buttons. I pushed the boundaries. Here's the limitations of the tool, because I'm the guy that gets called in to consult, to basically recommend what is the best tool or tech stack to your business, for example. So that's why I recommend cancel ChatGPT today. Go all in on GenSpark. That's your daily driver, straight up. Like as of today, that GenSpark is your daily driver. A lot of people have never heard about GenSpark. And GenSpark actually came into the community. It was Sarah Back who was the one who introduced it. And she's like, have you tried GenSpark? And I was like, what's a GenSpark? And at that time, I mean, every week is like a new set of tools. I'm sure you're overwhelmed with new tool of the week. And that's not what this show is about and this podcast is about. A lot of it, especially what I do, is eliminate the noise and give you the exact tools that you need. So what I practice is, one, choosing the right tools, and then two, going deep. I preach tool mastery. Like, you shouldn't be dabbling in like 14 different tools to help you with your automation. You should find what is the best tool for that task and then go deep into it. Right now, we're going so deep into NAN that we're literally building an entire content automation department. I'm not even going to say machine. It's a department. It does the research, the writing, writes in your brand voice, will research all the trending articles and get them instantly as soon as they come out. It will generate short form content, blogs, long form content, talking head avatars, and stuff on every social media platform. And then the whole thing is designed to publish 3 times a day minimally. That's the minimum, at least for me. Like when I talk about like publishing content and I'm trying to ramp up my content volume, especially for the next year, like I'm doubling down in more consistent output. The shortcut key, or the short phrase when we talk about social media content, is like, you got to be publishing 3 times a day, every day. And so you need systems, you need agents, you need automation in order for you to reach that threshold. When I first heard that, I'm like, there's no way I can do that. And of course, it's obvious, because you don't have the skills or the tools to help you save you time and condense that time so that you're working harder, or working smarter, not harder. So looking at my student, I was so proud of him on Saturday, because he was in flow. Because what I do is I'll teach, and then I'll do, and then I'll do, and then I'll watch them do, and then I'll let them flow and try and solve a problem towards the end. Yes, cancel ChatGPT is like the main thing. Daily GenSpark should be your daily driver, because also too, GenSpark has all the features ChatGPT does. It does projects. We're going to talk about projects in a moment, because I'm going to tell you the top projects that I'm using every single day. And it's like such a cheat code, and also how to personalize GenSpark. I'm in love. I now get it when people are like, I love my ChatGPT, and they're like, I personalize my ChatGPT. And I was like, that's stupid. I was like, ChatGPT is just going to marry you. Well, whatever you say. Oh my gosh, I personalized GenSpark. I love him because he disagrees with me. He fights me on things, and we go to head to head on debating like deep subjects and business strategies and going back and forth. And he's like, nah, because I have ADHD. And so he really gives me clarity on like, oh my God, here's a new strategy. Here's a new shiny object. Should I do this? And then I give it to my GenSpark project folder. That's my business coach. So it knows everything about the business plan, the goal, the income, the products, the value ladder, the customer, the pain points. It knows everything. And so I talk to it, and it's like, nah, it's a shiny object. You shouldn't do that. And I'm like, dang, you're probably right. So it was very interesting. Like today, Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi had their AI Bootcamp Challenge. It's a 3-day. I'm fascinated on 2 parts, not just AI, but also about the digital marketing funnel, because you have to learn. Every business owner has to be a marketing expert. Like, you have to know marketing in every business. You're a marketer before you're a business owner. You're a content creator before you're a business. You're a media company before you're a business. Like, no matter what, your whole game is content, because the only difference between you're broke and you're making money is no one knows about you versus people know about your offer and you've delivered value. That's it. So they did, I think it was a 3-day, 2-hour-a-day event. It's all on YouTube. But here's the cool hack and why you're watching my podcast, because I don't gatekeep. I give you guys all the secrets. And so I was like, I don't have 6 hours of my life to watch this whole 6-hour event. It's a lot of fluff too. They're not going to give you any strategy or technical things, but there's value in there, especially from a marketing point of view of like. And so I took the transcript, which is very easy to do. You could go to YouTube, click on the description at the very bottom, and scroll down at the very bottom of the description. It will have a little button that says transcribe. And when you click that button, it will give you the whole transcription. And then you take that, and because it's like, you gotta think about it, it's like 6 hours of transcripts. So like, I wouldn't give that to GenSpark. So you gotta know about the different tools and their different superpowers and their different strengths and their different weaknesses. Because although I promote GenSpark a lot, a task like consuming 6 hours of content is not a task I'm going to give to GenSpark. That's something for Google AI Studio for Gemini 2.5, because Google Gemini 2.5 Pro, I know these names are like super weird. You just have to know it's the smartest chat model from Google. It can consume 1 million tokens of context window. What that means is you can paste 6 Harry Potter books in that little window for that little chat message, and he'll go off and analyze the whole thing. So if I'm going to give 6 hours of content transcripts, I'm going to give it to Gemini and then have Gemini analyze it. And it did such a great job. I'm like refusing to like touch my computer, because this podcast is not a visual watch my computer. This is purely podcast only, audio only. It's designed so that you just put on headphones, go do your chores, go walk around, put the phone in your pocket. You don't have to look at the screen the whole time, just have it open. You can watch it on YT or TikTok. And that's what this show is. This is a pure podcast. But I can still reference a lot of stuff in it to kind of talk about it. Because like Google AI Studio analyzed the whole thing. And I thought it was fascinating from like a business point of view of like how it analyzed it. Because on one, it's a marketing masterclass, because you're watching two greats do infomercials, and the whole 3-day challenge was just to sell $1,000 AI bootcamp. And then I was so curious, because I run an AI certification program. I'm always curious, like, what are they teaching in other certification programs? And oh my God, are they ripping you off so hard? And that's why I'm like, I know all the top certification programs and I know what they teach, and they're all dog. I'm going to try not to cuss on this show too, but oh my God, like the frustration that I'm like, you're paying thousands of dollars for what? So this one is like, it's $1,000, and I don't mean to rip it apart, but if you're going to learn $1,000, or if you're going to pay $1,000 for a 30-day AI bootcamp, like, you better teach me more than just ChatGPT. And what they're going to teach you is ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, Gemini. First off, why do you need DeepSeek? And like Gemini for sure, and like, you shouldn't be using ChatGPT. And Claude for sure. Claude for code, amazing. Claude's definitely in there for like vibe coding and stuff like that if you're building an app. Meeting, productivity, Fathom, Zoom, wow. Basics, like, you're going to pay $1,000 to learn Fathom. You go to my YouTube channel right now. I have the best #1 searched video on Fathom tutorial, TickTick tutorial, GenSpark tutorial, ClickUp tutorial, ChatGPT tutorial. Just go to my page, my YouTube channel, and I have all hour-long tutorials in there. Then they're going to teach you Make.com and Zapier. I wouldn't give Make.com to anyone unless I wanted them to suffer for months and have nothing but gray hair from frustration. Like, and Zapier is great, but it's super for beginners. Like, it's so expensive for Zapier, but it's quick, fast, and dirty. Like, that's, so it's just get it up and working, but you're doing quick automations. You're not building agents. You're not automating departments. You're not automating people's jobs. Zapier is just quick, simple, trigger if this and that. Then they're going to teach you Canva, which I get it. Canva has a lot of things, but Canva is not my main thing for what I do for building apps, for doing designs. Like, there's way better apps out there. Adobe, I would not. The happiest day in my business life was the day I canceled my Adobe subscription. Adobe makes such shit products and such over-engineered complex stuff that they're just trying to get you into their subscriptions, and how you cancel them is so shady, because they have like an early cancellation charge, which I'm like, why we're very uncensored on this podcast. You see, now Replit for AI development, for sure. But here's the thing though, I wouldn't give Replit to beginners, because beginners, you're going to get nickel and dime for every credit request. And Replit and tools like Lovable, they're not designed to like save you money. Like, they make their money based on the lack of prompt engineering skills that you have. And so although Replit is quick and fast and great, I would give beginners Google AI Studio. 1, it's free. 2, it's super intuitive. Like, it will spoil you so much when you're like, oh, this is vibe coding. Like, my students are sitting in their car or sitting in a waiting room on Google AI Studio on a browser on their mobile phone, and they're vibe coding, and they have the app done before they even make it home. Like they're vibe coding in the car, they're vibrating. That's because it's like, number one, when I teach my AI certification program, I have a lot of like principles. Principle number one, especially from, is like 10% of the challenge when you're trying to automate something is choosing the right tool. So that's like number one, is like it's gonna set down your path. So choosing one versus like Replit versus Google AI Studio. Replit, people are gonna go be like, oh my god, it's so expensive vibe coding an app. It's like, yeah, and it's honestly because you lack prompt engineering skills. Like, so honestly, like prompt engineering skills are so essential. When you look at my prompts are like 2-3 pages of instructions. Everyone else is doing like a sentence or two, maybe a paragraph, and they're typing it out. Worst thing that you could do. Oh my gosh. And so if you want to vibe code an app, Google AI Studio, sign up. It's completely for free. You can vibe code the whole app. And then here's what I'm going to give you guys. So you don't even have to buy it. There's no course or anything. I'm sorry. Like, if you want to vibe code the app all the way from start to finish to get your first 100 users, build it in Google AI Studio. When it's done, push it to GitHub. And then from GitHub, think of GitHub as like a cloud storage for your app. Technically, you can even host it in GitHub. Technically, not for like production, but just like to show a demo and give it to some like beta students to like try it out. Like you could run your app in GitHub. The other side is you push it down, or you pull it down, however you want. You pull it down to Vercel, Vercel. Vercel is 100. They have a very generous free tier. They call it the hobby plan. You can have at least 100 daily users on your app, and it won't cost you anything. That's enough to vibe code an app, get it to market as quickly as possible, do it in a week, and improve your product market fit, basically, and do it 100% free. That's why we don't teach vibe coding in the community, because there's a lot more steps to it, and I just don't have, honestly, those skills as a software developer to recommend security, to recommend API protection, or like how do you protect your API keys, how to add the code so you can do credit system on your tokens. I don't have those skills, so that's why I don't teach it. But oh boy, will I teach you how to automate your entire business using stuff like NAN, custom GPTs, project folders, APIs. Like there's other stuff that to go into there. So $1,000, 30 days to teach you those tools, and I guarantee, what a waste of time. Not to like, and I don't mean, because it's like you don't need. I'm going to tell you all the tools. 1, GenSpark for sure. 2, Cider, Sider. It's mandatory for like a writing assistant. 4, your next tool is voice to text. That's Voice Inc. I used to call it Voice Link. It's actually Voice INK. That one's like $25. Super great. Highly recommend it. Because you have to, like, another big thing is like you have to mandatory be voice to texting. Like no more typing. Typing is irrelevant right now. Like you will not be able to keep up to date if you're like, even typing. Like I'm a super fast typer. Hello, Sarah. I'm a super fast typer. Oh yeah, Sarah, welcome. This is the new format. Now I am starting the podcast officially. But yeah, like voice to text, you should be like mandatory. And then voice INK is like the best. I've tried them all. I tried Super Whisper. I tried Whisperflow. I tried Mac Whisper. I've tried all the other ones, free paid subscription, and like Voice Link. Fast, because you can now speak at the flow of thought, and that's what you need, because you need to dump a ton of context around what you're like. And I watch my students on like in my certification program how they're using it, and they're using the voice to text, and then they're just flowing. And then what they do is after that he uses voice to text, he'll be like, okay, voice to text to write the prompt. What's up, Winston? And then on the other side, oh, Winston, I did get the link for it, so we will check it out, but not in this format. This format's a podcast, so definitely we will check out. I have another show to highlight. I want to see your next video. So with it, he was doing voice to text in GenSpark, prompting what he wants it to do, just talking. And then once he's done, he has a really good, takes time to remember to talk. I know, processing. You're like the little loading screen from Windows. And then he'll highlight the text, and he'll right click and use Cider to improve the writing, because that's what Cider does. Cider is like meant to help improve your writing right where you are, anywhere on the computer. Chrome, Safari, email. It's meant to improve the writing, improve the grammar, make you sound smarter. So nice and so easy to use, which like I highly recommend Cider, because the time it takes, and I'm obsessed with time like optimization and shortcuts and hacks. If I could save a second just by learning a shortcut, like I will memorize that shortcut. And so Cider is great because you can you have the it's only like $10 a month, and it's if when you press the keyboard shortcut, it just pops out like on the right hand side, and you have access to all the models. ChatGPT, which has actually ChatGPT released like I have that they have like new models. Like I was looking at today, and I was like, they released as if it wasn't more confusing. They have oh no, you go into GenSpark, and they have ChatGPT Pro. Hold on, I had to look at the get the list of the names for all the different ones. You have ChatGPT 5 Instant Thinking, ChatGPT 5 Instant, ChatGPT 5 Thinking, ChatGPT 5 Thinking High, ChatGPT 5 Pro, and then you have O3 Pro. How confusing is that? In GenSpark, you have one agent. Just talk to the agent. That's all you have to do. The agent will figure out what model, whatever you want to do. ChatGPT, unless you prompt it, like you technically don't get the thinking model like out of the gate kind of thing. So some things that are just kind of annoying. But yes, so that was enough of like just the things of the tools of like a lot of the stuff I was watching the student like him just flow because he came in with very basic tech skills, and like within 3 weeks he's automated his end-to-end content. He's very fluent in GenSpark. He's got the workflow down with voice to text using GenSpark, building project files. We have, which I recommend too, is like 2 project files in your GenSpark folders. One is a business coach, one is a life coach. Oh my God, are those so good? But you also have to personalize GenSpark is another big thing. When you open up the browser, on the bottom left, there's a little like message bar. There's a tiny little person icon. Click that person icon, and you could be cool, like lazy, and just like have it do research all about you, and it will go fetch all the research about you, and then put it into the bio. That's one way that works. And then at the very bottom, you can what does mine say? Because I love personalized. Oh man, is he like blunt? When I get advice from him, and he will call me out. He will say no. That's why I like GenSpark. GenSpark, if you personalize it, he'll actually disagree with you. For example, like especially in like the business coach and life coach, if it's not aligned with your business or life goals, he will say, no, this is a shiny object. Stop doing this. Keep doing this. Stay focused. And you're like, thanks, life coach. I needed that. ChatGPT it's just a mirror. It just regurgitates whatever you say with some encouragement. It's like, that's a great idea. It's like, no, GenSpark, or ChatGPT, that's a horrible idea. Disagree with me. It's like, no. So personalize your GenSpark. What do I have mine set at? I have mine set at, what do you want to call you? What do you do, your role, your profile. Your profile is basically like your goal, like who you are, your business, your role, what do you work on, what do you usually do for daily work, like office work, or like are you a manager, are you an entrepreneur, are you a freelancer, like put all those details in. This part right here, what traits should GenSpark have? I have straight shooting, forward thinking, skeptical, and encouraging. Do I want to add anything else? No, those are the only ones I want to add. And then you can add any custom instructions. But then that's just for the GenSpark as a whole, like as you use the whole thing. Inside project folders, you can actually personalize it with custom instructions, which is super dope. And then there you could prompt it to basically like say, help me stay focused. Here's the goals. If I deviate from the goals, provide recommendations and support. And so yeah, GenSpark as the daily driver. Also, shout out to Kara in the community. She's just launched or just crossed 2,000 subscribers from posting consistently, and I think she's within her first 30 days. Like she got 1,000 within her first week, and she's moving very fast. But it comes from posting consistently, and I highlight that because I coach a lot of entrepreneurs, and I keep telling them post 3 times daily. Don't miss your daily. Like that is mandatory. If that's not a mandatory, like if it's second priority in your business life, you failed your business. Like you failed marketing. Because like if that's not a priority, you don't get leads, you don't get attention, you don't get like traffic to your page, and your whole goal is to produce content so you stay top of mind, to show up consistently by delivering value. So, and then you have to do you can't do faceless. can't, you have to do face, you have to be a face to a brand. That's what's going to convert the sales. Huge things, just big principles. So that was one thing I wanted to talk about. I have another thing I wanted to talk about too, and then that is writing my book. I am officially writing my book. This is the first day announcing it. By the way, today's my birthday. If you made it this long in the show, comment happy birthday down below. That way I know you made it midway to the show, and I know who are my long-term listeners. That way all the people are like stop listening after about 5 minutes. They're missing the gems. But yeah, I'm so excited for writing my book. Sarah back, Delane back, which isn't, she's in the comments. Say hi and I'll pin your comment. Sarah is my Amazon best-selling author, how to write a book coach. I'm like trying to figure out what's the best way to say it. And it's like what you need. And I want to just share like my experience so far of like writing the book. There she is. Cool. Let me pin your comment. I was waiting for you to comment too. And I was like, okay, pin the comment. That's Sarah. If you want to become an author, best-selling author, and then because it's a business strategy, if you want to become like an industry leader, you have to write a book. Have to. And so partnering with Sarah, and she has a whole program, 30-day program on how to write your book. Amazing. And what you're really paying for is like two things. One is the shortcut to help you get there, step ABC, all the way without having to like Google research. I haven't like, usually when I go into a project, I'll obsess over every YouTube video on like how to write a book, what tools to use, and how I want to just like, knowledge consume everything. But she saved me from doing any of that, so that she gives me a clear blueprint, a clear roadmap, and says, do this, focus on this, and here's what you need to do. So it eliminates all of that like unnecessary learning. What I call it learning purgatory. And whenever you're trying to learn a new skill set, like a lot of us think that, oh my God, I got to learn every tutorial. I got to take every beginner course. I got to buy every book and Udemy course and watch everything. And what ends up happening is you put yourself in what's called learning purgatory. And I learned this when I was becoming a software developer. I'm not a software developer in any way. I just pretend to be one. I'm just like really good at Frankensteining code. And so you think you need more information, but you don't. You actually need a focused and clear goal, and then you need to be resourceful on how do you solve the next problem. So what I break down and call project-based learning, because we have a couple students that are learning NAN in the course, in the program, and it's great because there's a lot of courses and stuff on NAN. You go to YouTube, you can find a ton of NAN courses. But the nice thing about what we're teaching is we're actually working through an actual real world example of a project. We're automating your entire social media content. And so having them go through that process eliminates time from searching unnecessary topics or learning things that you don't really need to learn along the process of developing a new skill set in general. So I share this because now in hindsight, because I'm real close, the rough draft is already done. I see the vision. I see now how this book fits into the whole ecosystem of my brand and positions me as authority, and really also the surreal part to me, the more interesting part was when I did the third draft. And the third draft, because the more you do a little bit about the flow to it, you're going to be using voice to text and just brain dumping stories, because you're going to use this, what I'll call raw transcript as the base for the book. Like, because then when you feed that to AI, and yes, we're totally using AI to write the book, and oh my God, is it so much easier. I cannot think about writing a book without AI. Insanity. Like months, if not years of wasted time. Unnecessary. There is so much information that your brain has to like hold in random memory to like process like what it takes to write a book, to organize everything collectively. There's no way you're doing that without a digital notebook or like or without a paper notebook. It's like there's so much information, because not only do you have to organize information about your book, your stories, and that, but you also have the framework on how to actually write the book properly. And so condensing all that together, that's why you have to be good at Claude, is one of the big ones. I tried all the different. GenSpark wasn't the best for writing. ChatGPT, we all know what ChatGPT is. Like, you know a ChatGPT, so I'm not going to go use that. Claude is the best for writing, but his project folder was like the most valuable. Being able to dump in a Claude project folder, all the notes, the references, the transcripts, examples, writing style, all of this into a project folder made it so much easier to write out all the chapters. And so you act basically, and that's why I teach a lot in the AI agents. You're basically a manager now. You, by learning how to use certain tools, these now AI agents, the agents are like mini employees, like they're like mini interns, and they're really good at doing a lot of projects. And so you can multiply your output just by learning how to do AI agents. And and then you got to go through a couple of revisions. But the biggest things that what you're really working with Sarah for is the accountability, because the accountability is one of the biggest things, because to meet regularly, a set time every single week where you're doing nothing but just focusing on that book, worth it. That's what you're really investing in, is you're investing in accountability so that you stay on track and this doesn't become a 1 year project and you're done in 30 days. I'm a little over on 30 days because I've I've been managing everything else from the community. But that's on me for time management. But you could totally write the whole book in 30 days. Now that I'm kind of going through the process, it's like I get it. But I'm really excited about it was kind of surreal. It'll be very interesting. We'll see how it plays out. But like, to position myself next to books like Traction and Gino Wickman and The E-Myth, these were like I didn't realize how obsessed I am in business process automation, or business process automation, basically. And it really weaved the story, because I was like, it ties together my background in theater. I know no one's ever heard of my background in theater, but my background in theater before Salesforce ties in with Salesforce, ties in automating my corporate life, ties into a lot of the stuff that I've been focusing on is just automation. Just how do you automate regardless of the tech tools? The tools will always change. NAN, Zapier, Make.com, AutoHotkey, C++, JavaScript, they'll always change. The tools will always change. They'll get a lot easier too, which is one of the biggest things. But learning the process of how do you break down a large project into step-by-step explicit instructions for any model to learn, now it's so much easier because AI is going to write the code, which is one of the biggest things. So I'm super excited. It's very interesting to see. It is value packed because it will teach you how my methodology on how to automate anything in your business, regardless of technology. Like, the technology is irrelevant. It's really teaching you the mindset and the principles of how to take anything in your life or your business and how to systematically automate it so that you buy back your time. Like, I'm all about buying back my time. My first project, like my first automation, I was like, wait a minute. That was the surreal. I learned AutoHotkey, taught myself C++, automated my first job, and I did that in 30 days. And at the end of the 30 days, that's the surreal part. I've seen this phenomenon, like people's reactions, like it's very surreal. They go through a period where they're like, wait a minute. I just wrote a couple line of codes and it does my entire job better than I could, faster, easier. And I just press a button. Am I reduced to a button? And it's like, not you and your job or your title is not tied to the work. A lot of this is to free you up time so that you can spend it on higher level, higher value, $10,000 an hour tasks and projects. That's where your focus is. So a lot of it is just automating the mundane, automating the repetitive, automating the stuff that a robot should do, like not data entry and automation from that stuff. So super excited with the book because it ties together a lot of, I didn't realize there was a commonality thread for like 20 plus years in my life. So I was like, oh, that's pretty nifty. It all ties together. Nice. Outside of that, that is going to be the main focus. So launching the book, that's probably going to be maybe next, I'm not going to say, I'm almost done. I'm definitely going to get everything published and done within the next 30 days, ready to go. But marketing it is a whole different beast. That's a whole marketing plan. So I'm going to be putting together a whole marketing plan, launch party, everything. So it's like, I'm going to hit bestseller, like for sure. Like, so it's really strategically thinking about how to play that game. It's a whole different game. So I'm excited. That's coming up. So definitely look forward to that. That's coming up. And with that, that's pretty much it for episode one for the podcast. I just want to do a different type of format and show. I'm challenging myself with different content. I'm kind of running experiments too. I'm always running experiments. I'm testing ASMR. This will be the last thing I'll say. I'm testing ASMR content on short form content, basically in general, because my hypothesis, if you look at, because I study at people that are successful in other industries, it comes from Jay Abraham. Jay Abraham he's the GOAT as far as marketing, because he works at company level, and the stuff he does isn't like tactical stuff of like, or like super nuance of like GHL and webinars and automation. He doesn't do any of that. He's very high level strategy on how to basically. He's absolutely amazing. Oh, if you guys love Jay Abraham, we can have a Jay Abraham. Oh, I just nerd out about him. But one of his things, basically on innovation, is if you ever want to innovate in your own industry, one of his principles was you model something successful from another industry and bring that into your own industry. And so one of the industries was, oh, I'm going to butcher this example so badly, but one of the examples, I think it was UPS, and they wanted to improve the efficiencies of their plane routes, and basically, and so then I think they watched I want to say the post office. It was some other industry, and the other industry had what's called a hub and spoke model, meaning all packages were shipped to a central hub, and then from that hub distributed and then routed to all the small regions around, let's say the U.S., for example. So by doing that model, where all your packages go to a central sorting and then distribution, versus from wherever location they are trying to go and route the package directly to the destination, was actually inefficient. And so they brought that hub and spoke model into their model. I'm pretty sure it was like UPS for their air shipping, and they crushed it. They crushed the efficiency. Another great case study, not from Jay, but another great book, is the Toyota way. And it was like Toyota manufacturing was like Japanese manufacturing was crushing it as far as output. When I say output, that means in the manufacturing, let's say warehouse. I can't think of a number bigger than warehouse, but basically in a manufacturing warehouse, you have input parts and then you have output cars, right? So the US, they have so much at that time, this was like the 70s and 80s, so much waste in the process of manufacturing a car. They can only output so much, and every output there'll be an X number of defects, and then from there Japan comes in, and Japan does continuous innovation. They do Kaizen, and then they do I forgot there was another one, lean manufacturing, as far as their principles. There's actually and so by using those frameworks and methodologies, they're able to reduce waste, eliminate error, and then also output at a higher output rate, so they could produce more cars. And so the US is like, yo, we're falling way behind. Like, and so they flew out some very influential process automation people. There's one guy, I think his name's Duran. I can't remember the specific name for him, but he's just like Joseph Duran or something like that. I don't want to butcher his name. Let me see. Joseph Duran, process automation, workflow, something like that. No, that's not his name. I'll have to find his name. He's like the godfather in like, it's like process automation, workflow optimization. It'll come to me. If you guys know, I'd be super impressed if you guys put that in the comments. He has a book too. I'll do the Toyota way. It's like one of those things that are like, because he doesn't get any press, which is like so sad. Like, this dude is like super, like, you can watch some of his stuff on YouTube, and he's like got it down to a science. Anyways, we're getting distracted, but yes, distractions. Let's stay on track. Outside of that, over the next week, we're going to be continuing in the community to finish automating our entire content machine. By next week, we'll have LinkedIn automated. So we'll finish that up, and then we'll work on self-hosting it, so that the whole thing, we're going to drop the cost from $25 down to $8. By the way, random announcement, because I coach a lot of clients, and as soon as I hear this, I'm like, let me just save you $20. If you have a Google Workspace email and you're paying more than $9 a month, you're getting ripped off. Google's like super at this. You have to go into the settings after you get a Google Workspace email, and you have to do it twice to you have to downgrade twice to unlock the $9 a month one. So fun fact, if you're paying more than $9 a month on Google Workspace email, you can actually reduce the cost and just downgrade your plan, but you can't do it when you're signing up. It's super fun. Or can't say certain words, but it's like not nice that they don't allow you to do that. During the onboarding process, they make you pay the $20 plan. And I'm like, wait a minute, and no one knows about it. Like, there's no, unless you like what I do is like IT stuff. It's like, and I find, because I just want to save you guys some money at the end of the day. You guys should not pay so much for subscriptions. And a lot of people have Google Workspace email, and they don't know about it because they think that's the only price is the option. I'm like, that's not nice, Google. Please don't. And I have to go through the settings and that. Plus, two, subscription tracker. Highly recommend TickTick. Not only for task and project management, but have a list in there for TickTick for subscriptions. It makes it so easy because it's all in there. It will reoccur. If anything's past due, it will show you it's past due. So you have to check it off. And then when it comes time to basically cancel or whatever, you just put the cancellation link inside the ticket or inside the renewal thing. So TickTick's like $4 a month. So that's why I highly recommend TickTick for like task and project management. I have a list in there for work tasks, life tasks, subscriptions, goals. Because something I'll find out, I'll see a video on it, but like, oh, I want to experience that. I want to do that, like getting a dirt bike or moving to Tennessee. Those fun things. But I'm like, I want to do that. So then I'll just share the video, and it makes it so nice because you could share it in your phone straight to the TickTick app. You could share your goals, share tasks, share subscriptions. What else do I share content in there so that I don't have to think about what content to create. I'm like, oh, that's valuable. Let me share it. And I have a little list in there called content. So I just dump content ideas. So then when it comes time to do content, you don't need to be original. Just find whatever's working and just model it. It's like the easiest thing. So highly recommend it. Surprisingly enough, the top 2 videos, we're in overtime anyways. The top 2 videos in my, because now since you guys are staying this long, I'll give you guys more insights. So the top 2 videos that bring in the most income for the YouTube channel now that it's monetized, one is GenSpark tutorial, and then 2 is TickTick. Those are like the top 2 tutorials. If you search GenSpark tutorial or TickTick tutorial, I'm like number 1 on YouTube, which is like dope. But those are the best tutorials, and like to like learn those 2 tools, which is like super helpful. So that's why I'm like, subscription tracker, put it in there. That's gonna save you a ton of time since we're on giving you guys all the tips, all the secrets, because you guys are letting me podcast, which is so much nicer and relaxing. So give you guys all the secrets. Outside of that, let's do just a little recap of like tools and stuff to the week. Notion for sure. TickTick for task and project management. GenSpark is going to be your daily driver. Do publish your content daily, 3 times a day. Use Buffer or Metrical. I don't like recommending Metrical, but if you need it, it works. For like scheduling and posting, you want to batch. I found out like times 6 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. are like the 3 optimized times if you're going to post a day. Like those are the 3 hot spots to like get the morning crowd, the mid and the afternoon crowd. So then that's been working great. And Cider is really good, but yeah, that's pretty much the main thing. So, and then I'm going to try and keep consistently with this podcast format, because in 2026 I want to double down on podcasts and YouTube long form content. Now that the YouTube channel's monetized, or the channel's monetized, I was looking at Julian Goldie's. You guys know Julian Goldie SEO on TikTok or YouTube, and I was looking at, he did one video. It was one recent video, and it was just for a quick glimpse. I can't find the video. It's there. I just can't find the one frame where he showed his YouTube studio. The dude, because he's pumping out 3 videos a day. 3 videos a day. Guess how much he's making? Oh, wait. Guess. Okay, I can't wait. He's making $7,700 every single month in passive income from his monetized YouTube channel. So I'm like, rocket bro. Like, that is so dope. Like, now I get it why you're posting 3 times a day. He's like doing 8 to 10 minute videos, topical. And so, yeah, that's where it's like, but if you like reverse engineer it, it's the same principles. Number 1, posting 3 times a day. every day. It sounds aggressive on YouTube, but honestly, you don't know what video is going to take off. And I was looking at my analytics. One video brought in like 1,000 subscribers, and I was like, oh, actually, no, one video brought in 4,000 subscribers, and I was like, what video is this? And it was like, I think it was like the 7 AI side hustles that you need or something like that. And you just don't know what video is going to take off, but you need numbers game. You need reps. That's one of the biggest things. Oh, my experiment. I just started it today because I'm trying to figure out, you should always be experimenting with your content, trying different formats. Some will work, some will not work. I have a hypothesis from studying great people that do social media content way better than me. ASMR content was mass top of funnel. So I'm trying to figure out, how do you talk about AI or teach AI, but do it with no talking? I know your brain's starting to scratch and be like, So check out my videos, because from there, they're short. There's no voice, there's no talking, it's all just music, and then I'm just showing like top tools, top 3 tools, top 5 tools, but they're short, 20 seconds. I have a hypothesis those are going to do really well compared to my talking head videos, and the reason why is because ASMR videos, or videos without you talking in whatever native language, goes more viral. Then you get more of a global audience versus just English speaking audience too. So that's a huge thing to unlock just for top of funnel, basically, for content. So I think that is, so posting 3 times a day, doing ASMR content, publishing everything using Metrical, and Metrical I'm kind of batching out. So like and it's nice if you get ahead at least a week, like meaning spend a day on a weekend, like couple hours, and just generate extra content and schedule them to publish on Metrical or Buffer, whatever your content of choice is, because YouTube loves consistency. Like, my numbers are growing on YouTube. We finally passed 5,000 subscribers, and that it's between the last like 40 subscribers, the last 100 actually came from the consistency. Like, so it's helping to grow, and then YouTube's also picking up a lot. I'm getting about 1 to 200 subscribers a week, give or take, now that I'm pumping out. But it's not all AI content, if you notice too. It's not all for sure, like, not AI content. Like, that didn't grow my brand. My brand was like me, goofy, weird, all of my weirdness. That actually, by the way, if you watch Gardening with Johnny, have you guys gotten on Gardening with Johnny on TikTok? This dude, passionate about what he does. Love it. And he's just coming out with the book, and I admire him from like his YouTube channel, because dude is just loves what he does. He is in his element, and he is rocking with his hobby, his passion, and it's just gardening. And I'm like, I respect that, and I love, and so you learn and watch what he does, and he's also coming out with the book, and I was like, okay, cool. So that's why I wanted to do the podcast, because the main selfish thing is, for me at least, on my birthday, I'm like, let me just go all in on officially becoming a podcast, because my voice has been the most complimented thing over the consistency over the years. They're like, oh my God, you have such a soft voice. I can listen to your voice if you're just sleeping and talking. And there's actually quite a few YouTubers that are like ASMR voices, and it's like, I really don't care what you're talking about. I just want your voice in the background, kind of thing. It's soothing, it's calm, it's relaxing. So that's why this whole show is just audio only. Just put on your headphones, go do your chores, go for a walk, go walk around, and that's all this is. I won't be showing things on my computer. I want to give you guys all the insights, tips, so that you don't have to like do the double take, and you can focus on your work, your job, your commute, and just listen to this in the background. So I'm going to try and see if I could do a 100-day challenge of just posting a podcast daily. They're very relaxing and easy. I don't have to do craziness of like set up podcast lighting and all the editing and all that. Just going to sit down. I'm going to keep my notes organized in Notion, and then I'm just going to share a few interesting things every single day. I promise you will learn something new every single day by listening to my podcast. So that's going to be my commitment to you and what this show, New Element, is. So thank you so much for following me on my journey. I'm Jonathan Acuna, Dr. AI. I teach AI to entrepreneurs to help them save 20 plus hours every single week by leveraging the easiest tools. My essential tools: Notion, GenSpark, Cider, NAN. I think with those, That's all you need. You don't need 14 different tools. You don't need a bunch of different things. Those tools are just the tools that you need. What's up, Alberto? We got Winston. We've got Sarah. We've got Gabrielle. I see all my fan club on TikTok. So, and I'm trying to weave it into the 6 o'clock show too, because that way it will make it easy. It doesn't interrupt my schedule as much. It's very easy to like produce it, and I could get more consistent. And then for you guys, if you ever want to watch later or something, I think this is a great format that you could listen, recap, and then that way you can stay up to date, and it works out forever. Because I'm trying to move into like a asynchronous workflow where I get it, you're busy, we're all busy trying to meet consistently for time, but I think the podcast is going to be great because you could listen to it in the morning, in the evening, get some tips from there, and then I could keep you guys up to date at a faster pace. So thank you so much for being part of my episode 1 for my new podcast. And we're gonna keep going every single day. We'll see how it evolves and grows. I promise you'll learn something new. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go get some Krispy Kreme donuts for my birthday. I love donuts. Actually, stay right here for 5 seconds. Say 5 seconds. 5 seconds. One of two things is going to happen right now. Either we're going to make a wish or we're going to burn the house down. But we need to do this. We're going to make a wish with me and say happy birthday. Okay. Ready? Everyone ready? Fire. Okay, no fire. One down. Okay, where do we put these? Hold on. Okay, hold on. I wasn't really prepared for this. This is spontaneous. Okay, these matches are from like 1982, so I don't even know if these matches are gonna work. I'm so old that I can't even get. There we go. Don't go. Come on, little guy. Come on, little guy. We're gonna try one more. If not, I'm just gonna do it with the match. I used to be a pyro when I was a kid too. I think we got it. Transferring the flame. I feel like Prometheus. Oh, we got it. Okay. We are going to sing happy birthday. How cheesy. I know. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. I can hear you guys in the background, so don't worry. I gotta hear you louder. Happy birthday, dear Dr. AI Jonathan Juan Acuna. Happy birthday to me. I appreciate each and every one of you for following me on my journey. I am truly grateful for all of you in my lives. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for all of you guys and your support. I'm truly grateful because you guys give me the life that I love. I wake up every day grateful. Okay, let me make a wish. Whew. Okay. In 5 years, we will see if this wish comes true, which I know we're on the right path. So everyone, Natalie, Gabrielle, Sarah, Alberto, I'm trying to think of all my fan club, everyone on TikTok. I appreciate each and every one of you, sending you lots of love and blessings, and I'll see you in the next episode of the podcast. Let's rock it. See you guys later. Bye. And then I'll get you guys. Boom.